Hi, I'm Jose Biciero with the Austin Chamber of Commerce. I'm the Director of Clean Energy at the Chamber, and I work in the Chamber's Economic Development Recruitment Program. I focus on recruiting clean tech companies to the Austin region. The goal of the program is to, overall, we're trying to diversify Austin's technology base. Austin, through the past couple of decades, has gone through up and downturns in its technology economy. We've seen the semiconductor industry and the software industries and computer industries grow, but with the downturns, we'd always see these industries take a pretty hard hit. And so one of our goals is to bring in new emerging tech sectors like the clean energy industry to help kind of smooth out and create more buffers in our local economy so that we can rely on areas that are strong whenever other areas are weak and not doing so well. And so the clean tech focus is really an effort to bring together some of the areas of expertise that we have in software, computers, and semiconductors, which are all really converging together and merging with the energy economy. And so you're seeing a lot of that happen here in Austin, and we're trying to bring these new innovative clean tech companies to Austin to prove out their technologies and also to deploy their technologies at a very large scale. The main driver here in Austin and building the clean tech industry is what's happening at the University of Texas. There are a number of research programs that are focusing on advanced battery research, energy efficiency technologies, smart grid technology, even solar and wind technologies. Power electronics is an area that UT Austin has been involved with for several decades, so you're seeing a lot of advanced inverter technologies coming out of UT. And so the research capabilities at the university are really driving new innovations, and entrepreneurs are coming to Austin, taking these technologies out of university labs and spinning them out into new startup companies. You're seeing a lot of activity with the university in that regard. You also have an environment here in Austin where we have a very progressive and green-focused electric utility in Austin Energy. It's a city-owned electric utility. It's one of the 10 largest municipally owned electric utilities in the country, consistently ranked as the top green utility in the nation. And they have very aggressive policies on energy efficiency, rebate programs for solar. They offer a green choice program where you can purchase all your power from renewable energy sources like wind. And so they offer a lot of support and incentives to help drive the market for the scaling up and the deployment of these technologies. So a lot of entrepreneurs are finding that their company can do best when you have the support of the local government and the electric utility trying to grow these new markets. One thing that Austin is doing that's very innovative is we have a mandatory energy efficiency audit process. And the City Council passed this a few years ago. It's a city ordinance that any single-family home that is sold needs to undergo an energy efficiency audit before it's sold. It's similar to doing a home inspection when a house is sold. And this is a mandatory program. And what's happened over the years since we've implemented it is that we're building up slowly an inventory and sort of a profile of what our existing housing stock looks like from an energy efficiency standpoint. We now know what upgrades need to be done within homes, what's the low-hanging fruit, and how best to get homes in a position where they can be as energy efficient as possible and also add as much value as possible to the new homeowner, but also to the electric utility, which is having to supply these homes with power and other utilities. And so this is a very instrumental policy in helping us become a more energy efficient community, but it's also at the same time creating a new market for these energy efficiency technologies, from advanced windows, advanced insulation for homes, even smart landscaping. You're seeing a lot of landscaping firms starting to specialize in native landscaping, so we're minimizing how much water we're using for irrigation purposes. And so these policies have actually helped spur the growth of these industries here in the region. We're highly competitive when it comes to building out our clean tech industry, but at the same time, we are very dependent on what's happening in the Bay Area, particularly in Silicon Valley. One thing that we are seeing is the investors that are investing into clean tech are in large part coming from Silicon Valley, from Menlo Park. They see the high quality startups that we have here in Austin, and they're putting money into them and helping these companies grow. So we are dependent on the resources available in the valley. But also the companies that emerge out of Silicon Valley, once they reach a certain kind of tipping point, it becomes a situation where they have to decide where's the least cost environment to locate and to operate their future operations. And we have several examples here in Austin where companies, large solar companies like SunPower and Superconductor Technologies, that companies that were born in California get to a point where they need to scale up to manufacturing. A lot of times the companies will keep their headquarters in the Bay Area or in California, but then move new operation centers to Austin to take advantage of the high-tech talent that we have here, but also the resources and the new markets that are developing. We have a number of very exciting companies coming out of Austin today in the clean tech field. Heliovolt is a solar manufacturing company that was born and raised right here in Austin. They started in 2001. They were in kind of an R&D phase for almost a decade. Then they finally had some new breakthroughs in how they design and implement new manufacturing lines for thin film solar panels. They raised a lot of money, over, I think to date, $200 million in venture capital. They established their first pilot manufacturing line here in Austin, and now they're cranking out solar panels and selling them across the world. Another exciting company, we have two companies that are focused on advanced solar inverter technology, Solar Bridge Technologies, and also Ideal Power Converters. Solar Bridge Technologies, a company that actually originally came out of Illinois, relocated after they received their first tranche of funding. They actually received some funding from the state through the Emerging Technology Fund. They've gone on to raise over $50 million in venture capital. They now have close to 100 employees. They're doing very well, but they make a microinverter that attaches to the back of a solar panel, so it's almost like a solid state inverter, and effectively makes a solar panel an AC alternating current panel versus a direct current. And what the advantage of Solar Bridge Technologies is that down the road you can actually see a situation where we could start selling solar panels just at Home Depots or Walmarts, and people can take them home and install them themselves without having to deal with all the complicated electrical wiring and hookups. And Ideal Power Converters is making a different type of inverter. They're doing a kind of a mid-range commercial scale 30 kilowatt inverter. It's about half the size and twice as efficient as your standard commercial inverter. They've actually raised money from the federal government through the ARPA-E program. They've also received some state funding and a little bit of venture capital funding. Homegrown company, they're growing very quickly. A lot of the commercial scale solar projects in the Austin area are using Ideal Power Converter inverters. So that's another exciting company. And the list goes on and on. We have LED technology companies. We've got smart grid technology companies that are designing home energy monitoring systems and deploying those in demonstration projects such as the Pecan Streets demonstration project. So it's a very diverse industry that we've grown here, and the vast majority of these companies are homegrown startups, started up by local entrepreneurs that come from different tech industries that have come now to bring their skills to the clean tech industry. The reason I enjoy this area in the clean tech space is because it really is the future economy, in my opinion. Our energy challenges are tremendous, and Texas being kind of the center of the energy economy globally, we have we're in a great position here to identify new technologies that can help make electric grids more efficient and help us satisfy our future energy demand, while at the same time providing new power and new solutions that are either carbon neutral or carbon free, and also that have the opportunity to create an incredible amount of new jobs. And I think we've seen that particularly in the wind industry here in Texas. In a span of 10 years, we went from 0 megawatts of wind to now over 11 gigawatts or 11,000 megawatts of wind, which is tremendous. We're the largest wind market in the country, I think the 5th largest globally. So we've effectively created over 30,000 jobs just in the wind industry here in Texas. In the solar industry, it's been a tremendous ramp up as well. Solar is trailing wind as far as the amount of, in terms of megawatts we have installed, but the growth rate has just been phenomenal. We currently have 40 different companies that are focused on solar in Austin today, from installers, manufacturers, project development firms, and we currently have about 600 people employed in solar in Austin. And whenever you kind of measure that in terms of how many jobs we've created per megawatt, it's somewhere around 100 jobs per megawatt that we're creating, and that's a much faster rate than most large established solar clusters around the world. So you're seeing the direct impact of these new high-tech and clean tech industries growing. And here in Texas and in Austin, you're seeing these markets develop at an alarming rate. I mean, it's a very quick pace that we're building these new companies and creating these new jobs. And I think this is something that's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And so from a strategic standpoint, economic development standpoint, it's a very smart thing to target this industry, which we have incredible resources and potential of being very, very good at. And it's just it's something that we need to make sure that we're focused on and trying to capture as much economic impact as we can.